Council, following last week's anniversary of D-Day, I'm truly humbled to call this June 11th, 2019 regular meeting to order. 75 years ago, hundreds of thousands of brave Allied troops, including 14,000 Canadians, left their country to aid the world in the cause of freedom. Many of them would never return, and the heroism, courage, and sacrifice will never be forgotten. Item 2.1, adoption please of the agenda for this evening's meeting. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Pearson, any additions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Mr. Peters, do you have a public comment this evening?
No, Your Worship, I do not. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. No public comments received this evening. So item 4.1, adoption of the minutes of the May 28th meeting. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Pearson, any errors or omissions out of that? I think there were some updates, new downloads. Everything look okay? All in favor? Carried. Correspondence for action 7.1. Why am I always going back to 2.1? Community Force asks that their board of directors be ratified. President Ainsley Jackman, Vice President Gordon Carson, Treasurer Peter Reimer. Mover and a shaker, please. Councillor Pearson, Councillor G. All in favor? Carried. And those same appointments for the in 7.2, the Valemount Industrial Park Limited. Ainsley Jackman, President. Gordon Carson, Vice President. And Treasurer Peter Reimer. Councillor G, Councillor MacLean. All in favor? Carried. 7.3, the Sacrifice Red Veterans Support Society. Councillor Pearson.
I will recuse myself for this one.
And because you are
director on the association.
Thank you very much.
Society.
The Sacrifice Red Veterans Support Society is looking for a funding application and to the NDIT, and it be supported by council. What's council's wish? Councillor Blanchette, Councillor MacLean. It's fabulous festivals and events. I know it's been really well received, that account by NDIT. Any discussion on the letter of support? All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Item 7.4, Robson Valley Community Services Accessibility Grants Program. Here we have a recommendation that the grant application by RVCS to the BC Accessibility Grants Program to fund renovations at the community service building be supported by council, and that the following renovations to 99 Gore Street be approved subject to receipt of funding and authorization from the Public Works Superintendent and Building Inspector for renovations to the lower level washrooms to ensure that they are wheelchair accessible, updates to main entrance to include accessible automated doors, and addition of an accessible parking stall. What is council's wish? Councillor MacLean, Councillor Pearson, discussion. Councillor MacLean, did you have anything?
No, I just think this has been a long time coming.
So, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Cool. All in favor? Carried. Item 7.5, Valemount Museum, Canada Day celebration. We have an ask for the rental fees for use of the village tent by the Valemount Museum on July 1, 2019, that they be waived subject to the applicant providing the required damage deposit to the village no later than June 27th, 2019, and that we donate a large cake to the Canada Day event. There's a large showing of hands here. Councillor G, Councillor Blanchette, discussion.
Everybody enjoys the festivities, so it's nice to be included.
Great. I've really enjoyed the last few years there. It's well attended.
You gonna do a speech?
I'll be doing some, I'll bring a katana for the cake. So, large sword. All in favor? Carried. Does anybody wish to pull anything from the reading file? Councillor MacLean.
I was interested in the 2019-05-31 community wildfire letter, and it's from Northern Health, of course, and about community health planning for the wildfire season. There's good information in there on smoke, and I know firsthand the kind of damage that it can do and the damage it can do to elders and others with respiratory problems who can never escape the smoke or the heat. And so I was interested in hearing if there was any interest from anyone else on council about creating safe, cool, clean public shelters where people could get respite even for a few hours from the smoke. We spend, sorry.
That's something we could possibly raise with the Ministry of Environment on June 20? Would that be satisfactory?
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be fine. I mean, I know firsthand with Mum's congestive heart failure that we wait all year for summer, then we have to sit indoors with the doors closed, and it's very isolating, even more so than the snow in the winter. So to have a place where people could breathe free for at least an afternoon or when times are tough would be fabulous.
Absolutely. I concur. Did you have anything else, Councillor MacLean, out of the reading file? Or is that
No, I didn't. That was my
anything
baby.
else? Councillor Blanchette?
I'd like to bring forward the letter from the Mayor of Victoria, just to remind us all that at UBCM, their request for reinstatement of the funding for the library, so we brought to the floor. And we are all working on a 10-year-old budget, so it'd be nice to have some support there when it comes to the floor.
Right on. Anybody else? I'd like to pull out number 2, the Trans-Canada Yellow Highway. Thank Councillor Pearson for his work on that file. And thanks to the Royal Canadian Legion in number 4 for the invitation to council to attend a dinner. I'm looking forward to that. I'll leave it to individual council members to RSVP. Item 9. Nobody else, anything? Item 9.1, accounts payable report. Motion please that the report be received for information. Councillor G, Councillor Blanchette. Any questions, comments on the accounts payable? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. The building inspection report of May 2019, that the report be received under 9.2. Councillor Pearson, Councillor G. Anything that caught council's attention there? Yes.
Quick question just on the totals under permit fees collected. Shows $1,268 building permits, $100 plumbing permits, $260 in solid fuel appliances for a total of $716. I'm wondering where.
Kickbacks probably.
I'm thinking, I mean, there's a little.
Did you just want to have a
I don't know.
have a look-see?
I can look into that.
Thank you.
Why do I think I know the answer though?
Would we still want to receive it for information purposes and that be, staff be directed to take that back for clarification?
Yep, that'd be fine, thanks.
All in favor? Carried. A report from the Director of Finance regarding the additional school tax. Please council that the report be received for information. Councillor G, Councillor Blanchette. I'd ask for this report, not one, but not four, I think 3 citizens came forward and said, how does this affect me? And I said, I don't think it does. There's a big 3 and a big 6. But I wanted to be sure that I was giving up this correct information, so I had the staff bring it to council for everybody's information. All in favor of receipt? Carried. Request for quotes for the municipal buildings, 9.4, that Steve Smith contract and be awarded the following. maintenance projects as per the RFQ process, Municipal and Visitor Information Center building, the Public Works log building, and the Valemount Museum and Annex building. Is there a motion there? Councillor Blanchette, Councillor MacLean. Any discussion on the request for quotes and the award? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Item 10.1, Village of Valemount zoning amendment bylaw number 801, 2019. That first and second reading be adopted by council. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor MacLean, any discussion on the bylaw? There's some housekeeping that has been taken care of. Anything further from council for discussion? All in favor? Carried. Item 11.1, council reports. Councillor G.
I've had a really busy couple of weeks, but nothing council related, so I don't have anything to report.
Thank you. Councillor Pearson.
June 4th, tourism meeting with the tourism committee. Had some good discussions and brought up the proposal for a sign committee, and we did have one volunteer off the tourism committee step forward, so we'll see what happens with the chamber and where we go with that. So it was some good discussion. June 7th, teleconference call with Trans-Canada Yellowhead Highway Association. Pretty much standard. Anybody traveling eastward will see quite a bit of work in Jasper Park. They're doing highway widening along the airport stretch. Whether it's passing lane or 4-lane, it's hard to tell. It's a lot of work going on. And they kind of surprised everybody with creating a parking area by Jasper Lake where everybody pulled over to go wading and swimming and such. And so they're creating a dedicated parking area to try and alleviate some of the congestion on that corner. So some really good things coming out of it. A lot of work coming out west as well as far as highways and stuff. So that was a good meeting. Evening of June 7th, I helped man the Operation Lifesaver tent at Centennial Park with Constable Mark Chupik from Kamloops. Handed out some swag, some information, got the word out about railway safety. It was quite a good presentation. And last night attended the mental health presentation at the high school. So that was my 2 weeks.
Councillor MacLean.
Since the last council meeting I was at, I have attended the information night for McBride's planned Robson Valley Legacies Housing Development for Seniors, a meeting of the Village's Housing Committee, celebration of tourism held at the Best Western on May 27th. This past week I have spent time reviewing and ensuring Kinbasket specific input is included in the Columbia River Treaty Local Governments Committee recommendations. They're going to be submitting that to the provincial and federal governments for consideration in the current negotiations to renew and modernize the Columbia River Treaty.
Thank you for doing that.
Oh, it was good. In preparation for a 2-hour teleconference on Thursday, which we will finalize and agree to all the things that we have asked be given over to the committee.
Okay.
So other than that, I went to the parade for Valemount Days, and that's been my 4 weeks.
Thank you. Councillor Blanchette.
So my 4 weeks as well. On the 15th, I had a day of committee meetings that were held in camera. On the 16th, we did have a housing meeting, and things are moving along with that. The 21st, the Village of Valemount, and we met with Shirley Bonder, MLA, gave an update of the village projects. On the 22nd, I went to McBride to meet with the Village of McBride and our MLA for in-camera meetings. Then I was away for a library conference, which was really actually quite good. I just want to thank all of the committee members for Valemount Days. It was absolutely wonderful, a lot of fun. I know the weather was sketchy, but everything was fantastic. And then, last night was the mental health with Clint and Joni Marlchuk. And Child and Youth Mental Health were one of the many partners for that evening. And I think it was well attended, a lot of good questions, a lot of good information. And hopefully we'll all remember that if things happen in our community, we're all there for each other, and the key thing is not gossip, but to help and to listen.
Yeah, it was a good message.
Yeah, it was a really good message.
Thank you. The 6th. The 6th, I had a RVR steering committee meeting. Joined a lot of vendors and volunteers in the parade of Valemount Days. Again, hats off to the organizers and the volunteers there. I wanted to go in the dunk tank, but I did tweak my back last week and I didn't want to take a tumble that I didn't want to aggravate it again. I will send a letter of apology to the organizers. Had a PG RAC board meeting yesterday. Regional Advisory Committee advises to NDIT and their funding application review, and joined Councillors Blanchette and Pearson at the Clint Malarchuk mental health talk. Just an awesome presentation by he and his wife, Joni. And then this morning, I met with Miles Bruns, Economic Development of the Forest Lands, Natural Resources, Operations, and Rural Development. Just seeking some labor force and workforce solutions. And then we also tested EMBC's satellite radio system to ensure that if comms come down in this area, be it cellular or landlines, that we can still get a message out, and satellite uplink flown in, driven in, something, driven in, let me see. Pardon?
Everything worked?
Everything worked, yeah, worked well. It almost fell off the hood of his truck, but that's how things go. And then I'm here before you now. Motion please to receive council reports. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Pearson, all in favor, carried. And I'll ask for adjournment. Councillor Pearson, 7:17, wow.